Hi there, Leslie with the Moxie Women's Foundation, and we are having our third, I think it's the third virtual Moxie Women's Foundation meeting. Today, so far, we are joined by Amy and Scott. Amy is a new member and has applied for a board seat, so we're really excited to meet. I don't want to remember what that date is, but we're going to take a look at that application in a couple of days, just after the holidays. So thank you for joining us today. Scott's always excited to be here. So I'm going to run through just a little bit of what's happening, anything that's happened in the last 2 weeks, anything that's going to be coming up in the next 2 weeks. I know we talked about a members only page. I did get your information, Amy. I haven't had a chance to get into the back end of the website and set that up. So the process for the members only page is a little bit complicated. If you go to the Moxie Women's Foundation site, up in the top left-hand corner, you're going to see the thing that says log in. What we need you to do is log in, create a username and a password. We don't need your password, but we need you to send us your username if you are a member, so that way we can grant you access to the members only page. Because if you try to get on that page and we haven't granted you access, you're going to find that you can't get into it. And part of the benefits of being a member is that you're going to have access to resources, some of which are coupon codes for local companies. You're going to get 20% off of Moxie Coffee, you're going to get 10% off of Moon Cycle Seed Company, and some other really great things. Speaking of resources, we do have a new resource that's being offered to members, and this is going to be in the form of some computer repair, phone repair, laptop repair. If you go onto the website, you'll see a little bit more in-depth information about that. Where our resource member, Joshua, who's also our treasurer, is donating 2 to 4 repairs, depending on how in-depth they are, per month, and the only thing that you have to do is pay for any parts that are necessary. If it's just labor, it's a free service. And that's kind of amazing because I know I definitely often need my laptop looked at and I honestly wouldn't be able to stream all of this and do any of this live stuff if it weren't for Josh. So I'm thankful for him. So as I mentioned, we have Amy who's applying for a board seat, and I'm really excited. I have 4 empty board seats and I have 3 applications, letters of interest in hand, and one other person who has said that they intend to submit as well. So it would be really amazing to see a full working board. I feel like we've accomplished quite a lot. The foundation's really only been live since March of last year, so not even a full calendar year, and we've accomplished quite a bit in that small amount of time, and that's really with just a couple of us putting time and work in. So if I had 4 more people that had just an hour a week to give, I can't even begin to imagine how much we could accomplish through this foundation, because the more I learn, the more I want to do. There's so many different avenues in which we could branch out and do some real good in the community, and I would like to expand our services as much as possible. So every time I have a new idea, it requires more time and more work. So I'm very excited at the prospect of having a full, wonderful board. That's like a dream come true. Also, the information's on the website, but we have Panera doing a fundraiser for us. So January 14th at the Malta location, and that address is going to be on social media. I'm going to make a note for myself to create an event so that everybody has all the information, but I'm writing it down. January 14th, 10% of the proceeds at the Malta location Panera are going to be donated to the Moxie Women's Foundation, anything from 4 to 8 p.m. So that's really amazing. The more money we get in, the more money we can give out. So I hope, mark your calendars, show up, get a bread bowl. Panera's got some delicious stuff, buy a gift certificate, whatever it is that you can do to help would be amazing. Some announcements for the grant process. The board met last Friday and we made a couple of decisions in regards to grants. It's been decided that Q1 micro grant, the application process, we're going to accept applications January 1st through February 28th. We're going to be issuing that grant in March. We're also going to be running our annual grant process along the same time. There's going to be 2 separate applications, and instead of this being kind of an essay style, we're going to create links through Google Forms where it's more question and answer. It's going to be a little bit more structured. We're hoping that process, for 2 reasons. We want to make sure that we have a distinction between micro grant and annual grant applications. And if people are just writing an essay style and they forget to designate which grant they're applying for, it could get a little hairy for us. So we'll have 2 separate links. One's going to be for the Q1 grant. That application process is going to be slightly more simple than the annual grant, which is going to be, we have locked in $5,000 for that grant. And then what we'd like to do in March is have a recognition dinner. And that's going to be open to members. The details of that haven't been worked out just yet, but we'd like to do a recognition dinner to, issue the annual grant, as well as bring back the recipients of the 2021, what year are we in? The 2021 micro grants. And have a little fanfare and some congratulations for them, because depending on what was going on in people's lives and the recipients, some people got a little bit more celebration than others. So we just want to make sure to bring them all back and, congratulate everybody again. Another thing that we determined is we have dropped the age requirements for the grant applicants. It used to be 25 to 65, and we've dropped it down to 21. So now you only need to be 21 to apply for grants. This is going to be effective January 1st and for the 2022 grant season. So that's exciting. That came, after it seemed there were many people who were trying to apply for the grant, others who knew people that thought the grant would be great for them. So we did that. Workshops. We had a couple of workshops. It seemed like we were doing one a month, so I decided, hey, let's keep going with that. Let's try to do one per month. So things that you can count on from the Moxie Women's Foundation are bi-weekly virtual meetings. We'll continue to do these until we get better participation, and in-person meetings are necessary, relevant, something that I'd like to see happen, but for now we're going to stick with bi-weekly virtual meetings. You can count on bi-monthly coffee socials. Again, when participation is up, we can definitely take a look at doing things more often, and I'd like to see at least one workshop per month. So we're working on possibly getting something going in January with Katie, who is our director of fundraising. She's a pharmacist, so we're hoping she's going to be able to bring us some information that can be helpful. We're looking to possibly do a self-defense class in February. I'm going to reach out to a girl who works, who's training to be in the Olympics for judo. I know when I spoke to her briefly, she mentioned she used to do a women's self-defense class, and I asked if she would run a workshop. So we'll get those details hammered out. And then I'm looking at March. One of our members is a financial advisor. And there was something specific about the month of March in the whole National Day calendar where it kind of seemed to coincide with financial planning. So I know she and I discussed briefly a series of workshops that are revolving around women in financial planning. She had some really interesting statistics. Basically, women aren't really being targeted as an audience for financial planning because it's a male-dominated industry and men aren't targeting women for it. So we are a big demographic of people that are being missed in financial planning. So, there's Joshua, and he has a camera. Hi, how are you? You don't have a microphone. You're muted. There
Can
you
hear
go.
me now?
Yeah, we can.
There we go.
Okay. Hey, thanks for coming on.
Am I one of the only ones with video?
Well, Amy's here too. What?
Okay.
I lost your video. Amy and Scott. Oh. Amy and Fiona showed up.
Sorry, are we live? Yes, we are.
Yeah, we are live. We've been live for a few minutes. I've run my mouth about just about everything on my list so far. This is really the last little piece. Is the workshops. So I was talking about trying to get a series of workshops together beginning in March with one of our members who is a financial advisor. Women are a demographic that just aren't being targeted. So we're gonna try to help change that. And again, we are going to start planning this recognition dinner. It's going to be a lot of work. So it's kind of one of those all hands on deck situations. I know that I'll have all of the board heavily involved. If there's any members out there that might have some extra time that they'd want to volunteer to be a part of this planning for this recognition dinner, I am really starting with a blank slate. As far as we've gotten is we're going to have one. We don't know where, we don't know how, we don't know what's going on. So if there's any members out there that are interested in volunteering and help us get the recognition dinner going, it would be appreciated. You can reach out to us via email. It's Moxie Women's Foundation at gmail.com. Moxie is MOXXI. You can call 518-226-5982. That's our headquarters office. There's usually someone in the office Monday through Friday, 9 to 5. If you don't get anybody, leave a message. We'll call you back. And that's pretty much all I have coming up and going. We've got holidays coming, so, that kind of pauses progress on business fronts quite a bit. Does anybody have anything else to contribute? Amy, this is your second time joining us. What do you think of our little, our small little foundation?
I like it so far.
We're the foundation, the little foundation that could. I think I can.
I've got a request from the Stewarts and Price Chopper and DeCrescendi's.
Yeah, I messed around with the DeCrescendi's the other day because I know we were having trouble getting it on the website, and I was really hoping that it was just going to be like maybe we needed to get, give it 24 hours until we're in their system. So I went back into it and I went through a forgot my password thing and redid it, and all that information is on Trello. So if you go back to it, and I still couldn't get in. So I don't know if we're going to have to call them or what. But I'm really, really hopeful. We've got to get this recognition dinner going, and we really need to get a budget going. Like, really take a look at the whole year, and see if we can't. I feel like if we could do more in-person events that were well thought out and well planned, and we might get better participation, and hopefully just get people involved, because the more we're in front of people, the more people get excited about what we're doing. But that all takes budget. So we have to take a look at what we have coming in, for what we have for money and what we need, because first and foremost, we need to make sure that we have the grants. And then once all of the grants are secured for the year, then we can move on to, spending in other ways. And I think we're in pretty good shape. Off the top of my head, we have the first 2 quarters. We have the annual grant in the first 2 quarters already. So that only, as far as grants go, we're only short $2,000 for the year for our grant pool. That's
Yeah. And Coffee Traders is still going to give 5,000. So
again next year
yeah.
for the annual or so. So we'll look at that for 2023's annual grant.
Okay.
Or wait, 2023, because we'll be doing this in 2022. So that's what we'll plan. I don't know what year it is. I don't know what day it is. I'm just showing up and trying. Yeah, so we made good progress. So, some of the priorities, I'm really glad that we have, we've also determined that we're going to do board meetings, the third Friday of every month at 6 p.m. at Moxie headquarters. They're also, virtual, and I haven't had anybody that's not expressed interest in a board seat, express interest in wanting to be at a board meeting. But there's no reason that members couldn't come to a board meeting. And find out what was going on, or, have a link or whatever. So that's definitely something, because two things that we're really going to be working on at the beginning of the year is the recognition dinner and a budget, something that we really, really need to get on. And then we're gonna rely on two people for the budget, our treasurer. Have you reconciled that stuff yet?
I haven't yet, but I will sit down either tonight or tomorrow night and I'll do that.
Okay, if you could just make sure that's done before the next board meeting, that would be awesome.
It definitely will be.
That way we can, have a really good forecast. And we do have a member who is a financial advisor, so maybe she can help.
I will take, any help I can get.
Yeah, and I'm putting a lot of feelers out there. I'm going to as many events as I have the time and energy for. We did the holiday mixer and we're introduced to Amy. So, all of these things are amazing. I reached out to, we're members, the foundation is a member of two chambers, the Saratoga County Chamber and the Capital Region Chamber. I have a meeting with somebody who is part of and I can never, what does she call it? I don't know, it's like the nonprofit sector of, impact sector of the Saratoga County Chamber of Commerce. I have a meeting with her on January 6th to see, what specifically from the Saratoga County Chamber of Commerce we might have for resources. But then I also reached out to the community fund. God, if I could remember any of this stuff off the top of my head. It's the Alzheimer's, Josh. It's coming. The Community Foundation. And I had a meeting with somebody from that a couple weeks ago, and she gave me a ton of resources to look at for grant funding and just some really great stuff. But I need to have the time to dive into it. And unfortunately, these last 2 weeks, my personal life, there's been a lot of things that have come up which have taken away from the time that I have to actually work. So I'm hoping, after this holiday season to really dive into it. And also, if I go into the beginning of 2022 with a full board, then maybe somebody else can, take a few minutes to dive into this stuff and see what's available to us. So that's what I'm hopeful for. But I am constantly reaching out and trying to find new opportunities and new networking. I sat down with Jolie and Michael Hicks today. They are the founders and president vice of Hicks Strong, which is a local foundation that gives mental health services to veterans, and they're going into their third year. And they were very much like me. They just decided to start a foundation. Their son McCoy took his life at a naval prison, and when they learned of that happening and dove into what happened, what led to it, they realized that mental health services are just not available for veterans, and the numbers are staggering for not only veteran but active duty people and suicide. So that's why they do it. So they just were like, we're going to do this. And they're just like we are. They're just figuring it out as they go on. So it's really nice to have that connection, because I learn things and I share it with them, and they learn things and they share it with me. And it's just really been a really great relationship to have. So it's good. The more people we can get in front of, the more help we get. So I'm feeling really, really, really good about going into 2022 with this. So, yay. We got one more person to show up today. Every time one person shows up, I'm just like, yay! We're 18 18 members strong. You know, so hopefully we'll end up with 2 new people and then 3 new people. And, you know, if anybody has any other ideas as to how we can, you know, get more participation, or, you know, maybe I'm just not doing what people want. Thoughts? You know, I'm open to suggestions.
Maybe the spa can do something where we do like one of your events on a Saturday where we offer like chair massage.
Okay. Yeah, if that's something that you can work out, just tell me what I need to do. Because I'm never going to turn down a massage, ever. Well, no, not never. Is that Logan?
Yeah, it's Logan.
Just creeping in the background there.
Stream view too.
All right, well, that's pretty much all I have. You know, we are, what's today? Today is the 20th. We're just a few days away from Christmas, and then we've only got a couple of working days before New Year. So I guess as I sign off, Merry Christmas, Happy New Year from Moxie Women's Foundation.
Oh, look for me on TV.
Oh yeah, Scott
Yeah.
might be on TV again.
Again?
Yeah.
Well, this time.
We'll talk about camera.
Oh, okay.
Well, you know, and I have mentioned it in a couple of Fearless Females. You know, there is definitely a problem with the public thinking that it's okay to attack small businesses with their opinions, and whatever this new approach is, that my opinion is the only one that matters and you're trash if you're not doing things in the exact way that I want them to be done. You know, and it is absolutely a problem. So there was something that happened over the weekend with one of Scott's customers that, you know, touches on that a little bit. And so it's been brought to the attention of the news media that this is a problem. It's just not okay. And you know, some people have put the term cancel culture on it, but for small businesses right now, everything is really, really hard. It's shipping prices are up, and there's shortages and supply chains that are broken, and you know, anybody that has survived the pandemic is tired and heartbroken. And then you have somebody from the public that wants to just come in and shit down your throat because they didn't like something, and not in like a constructive kind of way where they're asking questions and trying to find answers, but just, this is my opinion and this is what I'm thinking, and I'm not going to support you anymore, and I'm going to blast you on everything that I possibly can. And it's just, it's heartbreaking. I've only really experienced it once with Moxie, but it's mind blowing. So yeah, if you pay attention to some of the things that I talk about with this foundation, I touch on that every once in a while, that it's just this culture is not okay of, man, just thinking that you're entitled to spewing. You're entitled to your opinion, but man, you don't have to try to harm somebody's business because of it. So yeah, there's that. So anyway, that's all I have for this meeting. We will do it again. Where are we? On January 4th, you can catch us again. The information is, the link goes out in the newsletter. It is posted on the events page on Facebook. We talk about it in social media. It's on the website. You know, let me know if you can't find it. I'll send it to you. So yeah, every other Tuesday, and the next one, January 4th, we'll see what I can run my mouth about again. And Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.